Do we all rise? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Tom?
Here.
Alan? Here. April? Here. Josh?
Here.
Max?
Here.
Sherry? Here.
Payment of bills, $794,581.21. Transfers of funds of $8,000 electrical bond funds.
I move that we pay the bills and transfer the funds.
Alan?
Yes.
April?
Yes.
Josh?
Yes.
Max?
Yes.
Sherry? Yes. Tony?
Yes.
Approval of July 2023 clerk's report and the June 2023 treasurer's report.
I'll move that we approve those reports.
Alan?
Yes.
April?
Yes.
Josh?
Yes.
Max?
Yes.
Sherry? Yes. Tony?
Approval of July 2023 regular and executive session minutes.
I'll move approval of the minutes. I'll second it.
Alan?
Yes.
April? Josh?
Yes.
Max?
Yes.
Sherry? Yes. Tony?
Yes.
And it's time for public comment. Any citizen would like to address the board, you've got up to 5 minutes. Anyone?
Tom, there was a 18-wheeler down right between the Dairy Queen and Casey's, and I went and told them they were not supposed to have singers on it. And I went and checked, and there is a sign down there.
Yes.
And I told him, I said, there are signs on the street. Well, I didn't see it, I said, well, you better start it.
You finished that now.
That's all, yeah.
Good job.
Because I went and checked to make sure there was a sign down there.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's get her a hat. Okay, I know this.
Sorry.
Don Stone, Connor Engineer. Okay, I've got, to start with, I've got Jefferson Street pay estimate 1 and final. Nico, I'm sure you're all aware, so, and got that project done, right, much smoother, all the joints. Dress, and we have one driveway that I'm gonna have Nico look at. The lift that's a little more of a bump than the property we're comfortable with. So I spoke to them today. They're working at school next week. So they're pretty sure as they're moving out there, they can come out and look at that. If it's simple, they'll just knock it out and take care of it. No. If they think it's a little bit more involved, and John Robinson didn't expect it would be, but if it's a little more involved, he'll let us know what kind of costs we're looking at. With all the final quantities and everything accounted for, the pay estimate due to Nico Asphalt is in the amount of $159,185.
It's much nicer.
Okay, somebody like to make a motion on that?
Second.
the motion is to approve pay estimate in the amount of $159,185 to Nico Asphalt. Ally? Yes. April?
Yes.
Josh?
Yes.
Max?
Yes.
Sherry? Yes. Tony?
Yes.
While I'm here, we also have your, water tower reports completed. On those inspections in June, both of them are in fairly good shape. The lighting tower is a little rougher, but still in decent shape. We have those reports available. I'm gonna leave them with you, ask you to go through them, and, if you have any questions after you've been through them, I'm happy to get hold of us and we'll share them, set up a meeting.
Did you drain your tower written on that? The visual also.
And the interior coatings are all, there's some staining and a little bit of rusting on some of the seams, but all in all, the interior look good in both of them.
Hey, John, thank you.
That's all I have on that.
Thank you.
Business. Nancy?
Yes.
Hello guys, good evening. As all you know, I am kind of Margaret Keeley, some of you know me as Mackenzie, maybe all of you are not sure. I work for Farnsworth Group in Effingham, Illinois. We are a full service engineering company. The Effingham office focuses on municipalities, so water, sewer. Roger and I, we work together on IEPA funding projects involving water and sewer. And we have a bunch of services that are overviewed in these. So maybe that's-
White Bar's passing those out, all that's a little bit of myself, Ordinance all from, Effingham, Illinois as well. Graduated from Southern Illinois, Carbondale, civil engineering. Started Farnsworth Group about 8 years ago. Started with surveying, moved into urban engineering. Like Barb mentioned, the Effingham office focuses largely on more municipal work, but we also have transportation. And, at the Effingham office, Farnsworth as a whole, we're a fairly large company and we have 500 employees. Maine, Illinois is a large portion of our offices, probably about 100 to 150 in Illinois, 100 to 150 in Missouri. We also have a large presence in Colorado, offices in Texas, Georgia, Tennessee, although that we might park here. One reason why we were kind of came to meeting, Barb obviously knows a lot of people here, and we were at the Illinois Rural Water Conference. A couple of village staff was also there, getting their accreditation for water, wastewater, and we brought up a lot of two things were brought up: funding, what type of funding is out there, USDA, DCEO. IEPA. Farnsworth in general dabbles in all of those, but we have in Effingham office, we have a strong suit in IEPA loans. One reason we were going to talk about, and actually John had mentioned, the water tower, you guys have inspection. For that, you were in time to look at it, and I would agree with them. Those towers on the outside here, without climbing them, and look pretty decent. To get into what we do with EPA loans, because I had contacted the EPA to discuss whether you guys had ever taken a loan out before, and they mentioned that we had never used the loan process. And it can be a very useful tool for municipalities like yourself, in that you have a lot of taxing volumes. You guys are unique in that you have gas, water, electric, sewer, a lot you can use this, EPA loan, per se, we've done several for water towers. An example for, one particular water tower, the city of Newman, just recently this year, we did an EPA loan to rehabilitate the water tower. And then also do 3 of the water filters at their water treatment. We did a total loan amount for $655,000 because they were low income, small community. They were able to get a hardship rate of 1%, 20-year loan, and they got 50% principal forgiveness. So the city ended up only having to pay $327,000 for that loan. So it's a significant amount of decrease on the loan, and that you're only going to pay for half of the loan. And I looked up Greenup's median household income, and you guys are lower income community. You would be a part of the hardship rate into that 1%. There's a good chance with a written project plan that you would be in that range of 30%.
Then we're also currently working on 4 IEP loans for different smaller communities, such as Atwood. Atwood's a small one that we're working on now, helping them rehabilitate their wastewater plant.
Atwood, Illinois, Martha, Illinois, Levington, Illinois. We have a $27 million water treatment plant for outside water commission. We use the loan process pretty exclusively. The USDA loans are great for certain things, but they can't compare in interest rates, and they can't compare in the amount of principal forgiveness. CCO grants can be great, but they're competitive. IEPA loan, the IEPA generally wants to help communities like this. They're wanting to fund you, especially since they're the one doing all the compliance. They understand what your issue is. If you do have a compliance issue, when you go for a loan, they're going to say, well, at least they're working towards compliance. So I have a very good relationship with a lot of the people in the loan department. Gary Dienheimer, High Gallon, Anita Clark, the higher up people that make decisions at these loans. High Gallon's actually retiring this year, but she has another administrator stepping up. So.
But we do that so that the processes go smoother, quickly, and easier for the communities. We do our best to keep in touch so that they don't have all those troubles and bumps in the roads. The process can take up about a year to 2 years on the project and application.
Depending on the scope of the project, say, I'll use one of the large one that we just did. The city of Columbus, we did 8,000 foot of water. And then we did rehabilitation of the filters and softeners. The total project was $3.5 million. They ended up getting a hardship rate of 0.83%, not even a whole percent. They had $1.4 million.
And then not only that, we have done we've talked the lead service grants, we've worked with those. So far, we're 10 for 10 on all of our applications getting approved and our applicants getting the money that we had applied for.
And there's, I know there was some miscommunication maybe on the lead service grants. What you guys understanding of it? The lead service grant is just money that PTA is giving out to help you guys complete the inventory. There's a final spreadsheet, and the preliminary report was that all you had to do was write in the addresses and send that in. That was nothing sooner. The final will be done next year, and this money is to help you guys.
Even if you are doing it yourself.
Just can't, the city can't pay itself with the new funds, but you can pay, say, in some degrees that we're doing. We're administering the grant money, and then we're doing lead services spreadsheet that mail them out, they send them back to figure out what's missing. And then say you can hire a local plumber, go verify your know. So,
As long as you don't have any, any questions or any comments right now.
Now, we have investigation for water. I don't know where they've done the questions. Further, some people recommend the training towers. Full inspection. Whenever we start into this, we need to make sure we're doing the right start with. Get that part.
I would say, the exterior of the tower, at it today, obviously it's very cloudy, wasn't very light. Thought the exterior is awful, I definitely see a lot worse. But I do, I can see what's your concern for the interior, especially if it's not methodically protected. Have some rust issues. That can be purpose. So having a thorough inspection where you actually get into the what interior that or where to drain problematic.
Sir, they could be earlier, they were fuel power.
Right, that was one.
Got issues up there.
And you guys read both those towers, don't you?
So I know that's a lot of knowledge, something that you guys have never taken part in. But it was more of a, for us to give that information to you that there are funding sources out there that you guys haven't actually used. And it's great for small communities like this. Not saying that you are struggling, but if they're willing to give 30 to 50% business at a very low interest rate, and then you can use those funds that you already have saved in the water department on other things like that backhoe that you want to go that back truck, or putting in a water main extension because it's a 2-inch and you want to get everything up to 4-inch. So take those big projects, put that on a loan, low interest on 1%. I mean, everybody was screaming whenever you got a 2.5% mortgage rate. When you pay off your mortgage rate, or if you had a car loan for 7.5%, would you work on paying off for 7.5% and then keep your low mortgage rate? Think that you can't get loans on, like, if you want a large back truck, let's use that $100,000 to get that back truck, and then for this water tower rehabilitation, let's use the loan. So there's just some financial management that you can do, and understanding of what we want to do is, it's really a plan. And with this loan, we have a 5-year projection. Part of the project, and we look at the biggest part is whenever you start the loan, and you guys might have had more water do this, but we look at what your cost for making water is versus what the cost of selling water. That's very important. You obviously don't want to be selling water for cheaper than what it costs to make. So that's an important part of it. A lot of these loans will involve a rate increase, dependent on where your revenue is. You guys have a lot of taxing bodies, like I mentioned earlier. So it'd be interesting to see that maybe you don't need a loan increase, that you can afford it from general accounts once we have it. So we'd be more willing to sit down and discuss it.
And they're local, of course, I'm right in the backyard, but we're only in Effingham, so.
Don't worry about
I know you do. Most of you probably do. But yeah, we're willing to sit down and on numbers if you want, or just discuss general topics. Thanks for giving us the time and asking us to present on this.
We definitely got water.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay, Tony and Ally and David are on the water committee. Did you guys set up a meeting
Yes.
So you could be within thoughts. Sounds like a good deal.
We need to look very often.
Yeah.
But we will, water committee will have a meeting. Go from there. Okay, Jamie. Hello.
Hi there.
Well, this is everyone coming in to give an update, before we get into what was on the agenda. I talked to Giselle, who is in charge of the, planning, mapping, community mapping. And she said that we are on docket to do that this coming spring. So in the meantime, we need to come up with a steering committee, which is basically a group of residents that are willing to help organize the meetings and things like that. And as we get closer to time, she's willing to come down and help us with that. That's really nothing pressing that needs to be taken care of. I'm just going to I'll keep you guys updated on that. But I wanted to give you an update so that I would in the last meeting. But tonight I am here specifically because the Fall Festival comes out. And the chamber is trying to kind of rebrand the Fall Festival to an October Fest, so we have moved the dates, October 6th, 7th. There's also going to be a ham and bean supper that Wednesday. But we are needing advertising is what we're looking for. So last year, I gave you guys, all the board members, what we're doing this year for sponsorship and advertising. I believe last year you guys did $2,500, but it's really what you guys feel. I believe there's 4 different levels of advertising. Like I said, in the past, you guys have always done the highest level, but any questions? We're hoping to build a little more this year. We're happy that we were able to have it last year after COVID. Like I said, this year we wanted to add a little more, add a little more, add a little more.
You did 2,500 last year, correct?
I believe so.
What's the board think about giving 3,000 this year? Comes out of hotel tax. Let's speak up. So we got 30.
I like that idea. There's 31,000.
We got 31,000. Hotel tax.
I'll second it.
Colleen,
Yes.
April,
Yes.
Josh,
Yes.
Max.
Yeah.
Sherry,
Yes.
Tony.
Yes.
Thank you guys very much. And the next thing we have is road closures. The parade route's going to be the same as what we have in the past. We're going to be lining up on Jefferson, and that seems to be working out really well. Mike's okay with that. It seems like that's easier to reroute, easier to deal with traffic. And then again, we'll end at the end of Main Street down by the bank. We're going to also ask, as normal, that we want South Kentucky. And we're gonna also request North Kentucky. There's a chance we might do Mount Vernon Movie Night again this year. That's not for sure, but we want to leave the possibility open. And then Illinois Street as well. Like, had a really good idea that we're pretty sure we're gonna do a cruise night. We're not going to be planning on doing a burnout bit. So instead, maybe doing something like a car show off, where people could bring their old cars. We could have a section out there that they could park, walk around downtown. And they would be there.
That's not us, all I can. We appreciate you guys letting us, work with us on the burnout bit. Some people love it, some people hate it. I don't want to wear a logo, once a year is plenty. I don't know if we'll do it again next year or not, that's the side point. I don't want to wear a logo if we do want to do it. We'll keep it more low key. Again, I think coming to cruise night's a good idea, have, bring a lot of people to town. One of the things, people kind of disperse everywhere. We have a centralized location, I like the oddball type car show, farthest travel there, roughest looking ride, just oddball things like that, just to try to lure some people in. I know as a business, I'll throw some cash for prizes and stuff like that for it. Again, just try to get people, if we're gonna have vendors set up or local food restaurants in town, have people uptown, trying to keep them in the downtown area. That's one way to do that. I think keep everybody happy, keep noise and smell and stuff doing it. So I know we've had a car show in the past, and we didn't do it. I don't wanna go full blown car show, just something. Going, you know, down.
Something different would be nice.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's my thoughts, I mean, that's me being the car guy, I guess.
Well, the bike guy.
Amateur bike guy.
Sorry about that.
Okay, would somebody like to make a motion to close them streets?
I'll move that we close the street, the 100 block of East Illinois, South Kentucky, and North Kentucky on Friday and Saturday, October 6th and 7th during the festival, and South Jefferson on Saturday, October 7th for parade lineup.
Alan?
Yes.
April?
Yes.
Josh?
Yes.
Max?
Yes.
Sherry?
Yes.
Tony?
We need a motion to approve a parade resolution for closure of Illinois Route 121 on Saturday, October 7th, 2023.
I'll make the motion to approve the parade resolution for closure of Illinois 121 on Saturday, October 7th.
Alan?
Yes.
April?
Yes.
Josh?
Yes.
Max?
Yes.
Sherry? Yes. Tony?
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for everything you guys do. Time court. Halloween celebration.
I represent Bonnie and I, she stayed back there. Bonnie and I and a group of volunteers, we do your Halloween and your Christmas celebrations. So, this year, we wanna kind of get a jump on things. And so we wanna go ahead and set trick or trunk night for the 27th of October, followed by the Halloween celebration on the 28th of October. If that's okay with everybody. Somebody,
When is Toledo shooting?
I don't know.
They haven't said yet. They won't do that until October.
It's gonna be.
Okay.
Trick or treat, trunk or treat on Friday and the celebration on Saturday.
Yes.
I'll make that motion. Every night on Friday, October 27th, from 6 to 8 p.m.
Second that.
Alan?
Yes.
April?
Yes.
Josh?
Yes.
Max?
Yes.
Sherry? Yes. Tony?
Yes.
Then we need a motion to approve closure of 100 block of East Illinois Street, and South Kentucky Street on Friday, October 27th, to hold trunk or treat.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Alan?
Yes.
April?
Yes.
Josh?
Yes.
Max?
Yes.
Sherry? Yes. Tony?
Yes.
Okay, next, you want, need some money?
Yeah, so. Yes, Toby, I always need money.
Right on there, dear.
So this year, we had several people ask us if there was any way, and we could never compare to what Kay and Jill did in the past, but we would kind of like to try to bring the ham and bean supper back, to help with the, Oktoberfest. And so that's gonna be on Wednesday night with your Queen pageant on Thursday night, with your Oktoberfest Friday and Saturday, right? I'm getting things right. So we need a little bit of financial assistance if possible.
To be fair, we just give 3,000 to Oktoberfest. Somebody like to make a motion for $3,000.
I'll make that motion.
Alan?
Yes.
April?
I'm on the committee, so I should help with it.
Josh?
Yes.
Max?
Yes.
Sherry? Yes. Tony?
Thank you, Patty.
As always, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Now she wants to talk.
Okay, next, I need a motion to approve an ordinance amending section 5.04 of the village code with respect to the liquor license control. Now, at the July 3rd, 2023 village board meeting, ordinance number 711, an ordinance amending section 5.4 of the village code to the liquor license and control was passed and approved by the village board. The intent of this ordinance was to create two caterer retail licenses, setting a yearly fee of $100. It has been brought to our attention that an attorney clerical error has been found in the ordinance. The ordinance has been corrected and deleted the addition of Class F beer and wine license. Was not intent for the village board when approving and passing the ordinance number 711. I would like a member of the village board to make the motion to approve ordinance number 711-2 and the ordinance amending section 5.4 of the village code to the liquor license control.
I'll make that motion to amend the code. I'll second.
Eileen,
No.
April,
No.
Josh,
No.
Max,
Yes.
Sherry,
You clarify what we're changing.
okay, in the ordinance, that was passed last month, the beer and wine, it was, stated that we were gonna change it from 2 licenses to 3. And that was not the intention, that was not even what the ordinance was for, it was for creating the caterer license. Okay, so we're gonna go in there and strike that back to what it was, change it back from 3 back to the 2.
There was a clerical error, and the attorney might be able to explain a little bit on that.
So typically what happens is, what most municipalities do is when they create a new license, they create as many as was initially intended. In this case, the intention was to have the original 2 and not to expand. However, due to clerical error, scrivener's error, the ordinance, what actually did happen was it created an additional one when that was not the intent. So what the intent of this is just to, as the council was able to do, is to rescind what was passed at the last meeting and go back to the original intent. So that's what the motion does. From the council today.
Thank you.
And Tony,
Okay, next, Peggy Hughes. Okay. Peggy Brick.
Guys, we're here to try to get our liquor license amended, possibly to serve next year. Our intention, but first of all, I wanted just to clear up something. We started this in.
Can I interrupt for a second? The motion that passed, okay?
It
Because
failed.
there were 4 that said no.
It failed. It failed.
I was like, I'm sorry, I'm confused, I was just trying to figure out what's going on, I'm sorry, go ahead, I'm sorry.
In 2020, the fall of 2020, we started this process, and I didn't probably do quite enough research. I heard rumors that some of the board members felt that I was just honest with them as far as the bar size. So I wanted to clear up just a couple things. We went with 3 different vendors for our alcohol, and the 3 of them said, if you just do it for refrigerated only at a lounge, you're probably not going to make it. So that's why we decided to buy a bigger cooler, have more of a variety for people to have to choose from.
It took so long to get the game.
That was the intent of there. You're not going to be able to sustain your business with 2 different kinds of alcohol and 1 different bottle of wine. So we expanded, instead of building a wall, keeping the car wash, J&J would not let them keep the car wash in there. That the machines will not take the moisture. So there went the wall and was smaller, I just used the whole space. So with that being said, I wanted to clear that up and make, I don't want anybody to think that we lied, but we did use our whole building instead of just a portion of it. Okay, we're just asking to grow, that's all we're doing, we've had many customers come in. We have an older crowd at our establishment, very quiet, very peaceful. This is a record that we've kept since we've been open, and all it says is it's an incident report, and it says none, page after page after
Every
page.
day after after every shift, you write your name, your hours you work, and you got any trouble. We've only got, I think, 3 incidences in here. One, we took somebody home, we documented it because they had too much to drink, so Dan Sowers and myself took them home, so they didn't drive. Another one was we have refused one particular person 2 times, because when they walked through the door, they had already been overserved, and I wasn't gonna serve them. So we document all that, and if I have any, think that I'm gonna have any problem, or somebody doesn't feel quite right, if you're not from around here and I don't know them and they're kind of iffy, I call the police department right away.
I think we called Ethan once, and it was just some poor guy that was at a wedding reception and had to get out.
He lost his phone and he was just looking around and I didn't know what he was doing. So we have no trouble, we've never had a raised voice, we don't have loud music.
Like I said, we're just trying to grow, we've got an older crowd, we've got a dominant implement dealer that likes to come in and does not like here or want, and he just wanted to know when would I possibly could make a move to get it. And we're at the point, we had last Sunday, we had 8 people come in from the Topless, and they showed up right to the serving area, and they wanted an experience, I didn't have it, and all 8 of them left. We're just trying to stay competitive if we can, and I know we're just a small little place, but we generated $10,115.48 today that I looked at it for the village out of our business, so. Much was that? $10,115.48, what we believe it was, what we generated. So we're just hoping that maybe you can let us grow and we'll just see where it goes. Thank you.
For what length of time did you generate the 10,000?
Well, we've been in business for about 1.5 years, and the machines have only been there a year.
I have a little input on that. I went to the Illinois gaming site, and from January 1st, 2022 to January 1st, 2023, K&K Adventures LLC generated $6,640.13 was Greenup share.
This is our figure since we've been up.
Yeah.
So what do you have in mind? Are you gonna, I mean,
We just
kind
kind
of
of,
give us what you're planning on doing?
I don't know if anybody's been to the shoe box and the Topless, they have small bottles.
Like airplane.
They're like airplane bottles. We're gonna have a selection. I can't
We
say,
don't have enough room to have
we don't,
everything.
yeah, we don't have enough room to have a whole giant supply, but you buy that, and you buy that, we get a soft drink with it, and it'll come in a plastic cup. That's our intention.
So you wanted to amend,
Just the one that has.
Well, we don't, it says on their package, we don't.
We don't want package.
gotcha.
I wonder why.
We guys are that on there, but we're
You
just.
guys are just rear wide as well.
But it would be class J to amend. That's the only one that falls.
And a class A would be.
Well, I don't have that.
I'm working different.
One thing that why we're asking, we understand that you could possibly make a little bit more money. When we bought this building, our insurance was $50 a year, and now it's $2,350 since alcohol has been involved. And as you guys know, state license, you guys are licensed, grand shop license. We really didn't anticipate that. So we're trying to add this so we can stay on, to be honest with you.
So we just need to amend, possibly for three and so.
Right, but we can't amend anything because we do not have the ordinance amended yet. So basically, we'll instruct me to have the attorneys to draw something up for you, Sherry. And we can pass it next month.
I would like to see that.
Anybody have any questions for us?
Well, I think you explained it very well.
Thank you.
Thank you, yes.
Hey, Mike, and Linda Rock.
If it's okay, can we stand back this way and project better? I'm hard to hear.
Okay, I'm Linda. Everybody kind of knows me here. I'm here to address the comments from the last board meeting. I've had other businesses in Greenup. I had an ice cream shop in the 80s. I had Hornbeck's Cafe in the 90s. I've served on the board here, so I kind of know what business is like and what being on the board is like. So Michael and I had joint ownership of Backyard Barbecue since 2009. We ran this business for 11 years, and we have joint owner of the gaming license since 2016. I was ready for a little rest time. Food business is terrible on you. It's hard. You can't, it's too hard for no purpose it is. So in the fall of 2019, Michael and I were working on two projects. We were going to merge Linda's Place into 119, but since it's all there in the same building, makes sense. Second, we were going to lease the Backyard Barbecue property to a new restaurant to help make that transition a success. We were planning to transfer the full liquor license with the new restaurant lease. It would go along with the lease. When the lease is completed, we were going to keep the gaming license, that was a Backyard Barbecue, and merge it into Linda's Place beer and wine license that was available. We were close to leasing the agreement and with the barbecue property when COVID-19 hit. And in 2020, this put the lease on hold, which landed our plans slower. We were planning slower. We were open in full operation for the Village of Greenup liquor ordinance. We transferred the Linda's Place beer and wine license with all local and state license to doing business as Cumberland Holdings LLC. Liquor was purchased and stored in the same cooler, the same physical location as Linda's Place. The hours of operation were posted on the door. We were open and full operating right up until March of last year when we were ready to open as Linda's Place 2 at the new location. Now this is when all things went crazy. I would like to pass around some papers to let some of you that want to see them. Okay, but I can give it to them later. I'll explain what it is, but I'll pass around the ordinance, you can read it yourself. Village of Greenup liquor license reads as: no license shall be issued for the sale of any alcohol liquor at retail within 100 feet of any church or school. In the case of the church, the distance is 100 feet, shall be measured to the nearest part of any building used for worship, service, or educational programs, and not the property boundaries. In other words, it has to be where the church is having their services. The Greenup ordinance does not say where to measure the business property. Since the village ordinance does not specifically specify where to measure to, And our only access door was over 100 feet to get in. We met the Greenup board ordinance 100%. But Eileen Lane said to the board, which was to print, which she printed in both newspapers, that we were not open, fully operated, that was false. She said we were not 100 feet from the church, that was false. And this is reckless disregard for the facts. Now, a couple of things, if not during this time, the board made a new ordinance where the chances are to let 18-year-olds serve alcohol in their bar, but no one else in this town can have that. They made a special ordinance for chances are to have for 18, and he said they give it to anyone else like IGA, which can use it so they don't have to bring somebody out to check them out. Love's could have used it, Casey's could have used it, but they said right there and said, if you give it to anyone else, then I'm gonna just drop it. So, but they made an ordinance for him, special for that, so he could serve those. Now they're making a new ordinance I hear for him to serve liquor, out of town. Catering, and I hope it's supervised. I don't know if we all know where he's living at, but I don't know if that's a very good idea. To cater alcohol is pretty open. You don't know where they're going. There's kids at the party, who's gonna be watching them. I don't know if that was a very good idea. Just like when the Hubcap opened up for gaming license, they actually opened up a bar. They didn't open up a game room. So you were misled there too. Because, and now they're running liquor, so they're actually in a residential area. So if they serve in hard liquor too, are they gonna have a big metal bed and parking like the board told this church out here that we were gonna have loud bands and park in their parking lot? You have a game room, you may have 3 cars there during the day, that's it. Yeah, well, it happened, and the church lady told me that someone took her over to Casey's in front of our building and watched when we had karaoke night and said, now this is what you're gonna do with it. And it isn't at all. There will be no bar in our game room, not one bar. It's gaming and seats, cushion seats to sit down or sofa.
I might add that if they're gonna start passing out new ordinances, they're gonna be quick.
Yes. And, you know, like I said, Hubcap's right in the neighborhood. There's houses right next door to them, and Urba right down the street. So I don't know if I think you might want to check that out first before you just start saying, okay, what do I do? How do I change this? Might want to check it out. So in my opinion, Eileen is using her election position to make comments and decisions she's not qualified for. On the other thing that she was in charge of was the incentive package a few years ago. I've got to bring it up. It's passed. It's passed, but just one moment, I'll say just a little bit. We have people here that know because they went through it too. There was incentive packages given out when the other mayor was in charge. And everyone came in and applied for them. And the day Mike came in to get his, asked in front of the board for his, what he was gonna get his incentive package, there wasn't enough people at the board to vote. Wow, there wasn't enough people at the board to vote.
That's enough.
So-
Let me just say this, okay? It was unanimously approved, just like 5 other people. So Eileen came on the board, and she sat me in the back and we did not agree. That's a fact. After we spent lots of money on legal papers, same boilerplate template that 5 other companies were granted
And I
within 18 months. Now, that's enough of that.
Yeah.
We're here for a different.
Yes, okay.
I'll take that.
Thank you for your time. It's my turn.
Colleen, is this the letter you read to the board last month?
Here's those ordinances if anybody wants to look at them.
It is,
Thank you. Did you also give it to the Greenup Democrat to put in?
I certainly did,
They copied it word for word.
as far as I know,
Did you write this up yourself?
I did.
Okay. There's a lot of problems with this letter. We got copies of them, if you'd like to have a copy. Ally put in there a partial section of a sentence. And what that partial section says is also in section L is a clause for change of location, which states that nothing contained herein shall be construed to permit any license to change the location of his business. Now, that would just make you think that we just got an ordinance that we should have got. That's what that means. But she didn't put the rest of the sentence in. Here's the rest of the sentence, and then I'll read it all together. The rest of the sentence says, which under the ordinance of the village would be prohibited or denied to an original applicant. So now I'll read it together what should have been in there. Nothing contained herein shall be construed to permit any license to change the location of his business, which under the ordinance of the village would be prohibited and denied to the original applicant. That's what it should have said, but that's not went out to the whole public. Now, Eileen also left out another important sentence that was in that same section in the liquor ordinance. And that other sentence says, the local liquor control commissioner may allow the location authorized by a particular license or permit to be changed. So what she put in the letter was the complete opposite of what's really supposed to be. But it looks really good for us, doesn't it? It actually denigrates the mayor and Linda and I. The letter read to the board meeting and printed in Toledo Democrat is 100% misinformation. The letter is false, it's a lie, it's defamation of character, and it's abuse of office. The July 3rd letter of misinformation is exactly what happened to us last year in March, when Alan Blake questioned Mayor Boggs' authority to transfer our license. We were simply taking a 6-year-old license and asking for a new location. And she said he didn't have the authority. He has 100% authority as the liquor commissioner. Mayor Boggs did nothing wrong, nor did Linda and I. Nothing wrong. We met every ordinance to the T that the village has. Eileen Blade and April Harris then attacked us in our business interests in an effort to keep us from opening our business and run us out of business. This had very negative effects towards our business. Aileen and April used their official capacity to influence decisions against us. They contacted the Pilgrims Holy, at least April did, I know for a fact, and I know Justin Rowley did. They contacted the Pilgrims Holiness Church. Within a few days, the church sent us a letter asking us to revoke our license and our business. Within a few days, an agent from the Illinois Liquor Control Commission arrived from Springfield and started out with a preconceived direction. He was saying our address was not correct. He said that that we weren't 100 feet from the church. Well, the Illinois Liquor Control Commission legal department could not have been more helpful, and we were approved. We met the address and we met the distance. Before we spent any money on remodeling our business, not $1, except maybe a roll of tape. And signage and everything else that we did. It's quite nice. Unfortunately, it's not being used. We asked J&J Ventures, the largest gaming supplier in the state of Illinois, to come over to our site on the job and look at our blue tape on the walls and where we were going to cut the door in. Because we could have remodeled any direction we wanted to remodel. And they said, and we talked about the church. We talked about the distances. And they said, you're good to go.
We spoke with a gaming agent who goes around and inspects sites. It was a casual conversation when they were checking out our other game. And he said, we should be good. The gaming agent that inspected our site in January of this year said we should be good. So boy, everybody told us we should be good until we got to the gaming board. And I truly believe there was some interference there. And I truly hope to find out. FOIA, whatever. The Illinois Gaming Board in Chicago was a different story. They took 10 months to make a ruling 3 times the length of time that it normally takes. And they ruled in April of this year that our structure was 23 feet from the church. I got a picture in here, and I'm telling you, I got a survey from a registered land survey. Our wall inside is 101 foot as of May before
Do they measure the building to building? That's not what we're supposed to do.
That's what I think, but that's the rule. Somebody's been playing politics. I'm not saying it was you, but somebody's been playing politics. We got a bad ruling. So I spoke to an attorney in Chicago who works for J&J on retainer. And he said, well, you could appeal it, but it's going to take 2 or 3 years and cost a lot of money. And there's no guarantee where you'll end up. The attorney agreed that there's a problem with some of the verbiage, just like there is in every one of these. Everything about it's ambiguous. But, so, we decided, let me change pages. We decided to build a new building, which would be ready for gaming inspection in about 30 days. Board member Aline Blade said in her July 3rd letter, she had contacted the mayor as liquor commissioner multiple times to revoke our license. This is harassment, Aline, plain and pure. Aline sent a police officer inside our property to measure interior walls when this all started. That is harassment. Mayor Bogus, as liquor commissioner, wants to do the right thing. Mayor Bogus, as liquor commissioner, has the complete authority to make the decision. But you keep picking at him and saying you can't, and he's taking care of Francis. That's all a lie. Aileen Blade is wrong and should not be spreading misinformation to criticize the mayor for not following the village ordinance and taking care of Francis. When the hubcap asked for a liquor and gaming license a little over a year ago, there were none available in the liquor ordinance. 0. The village board fast-tracked 2 new ordinances so they could open. Our gaming site inspection was scheduled for March of last year, the very same month that the hubcap was scheduled for site inspection. But when these girls started stirring this pot, I told J&J to hold it up till we got it figured out. Worked out. From April of last year through June of this year, the hubcap has received nearly $65,000 of their share of revenue. The village board has given the hubcap a license and a competitive advantage because they've been choking us back. As of July 3rd, at the last village board meeting, Aline Blade used her letter and is still trying to run us out of business and blame the mayor. The village board members have not engaged and they just let Aline run wild. And you know, you're voted and you're voted in and you have an obligation to take care of business and do your part and not just let her run crazy. So I'm really disappointed in the board. You have an obligation to dig in and find out what the facts are. Linda and I are still not open, and expenses continue to accumulate. No revenue whatsoever. And then when we finally give up and say, well, this site's not working, we go over here 150 feet away or 200 feet away, and we start nose to the grindstone. And what's Aline doing? She's saying that we've not been open for 6 months after we received the license. Aline Blade, we were open in March of last year, 100%. And why would we go waste more money that we're already losing our butts to open up for beer when there's no gaming revenue, and we don't know whether we were gonna get gaming revenue? So you caused that delay, and yet now you're still paying us. That's harassment and it's official abuse of office. I personally think, Aline, that you're a disaster for the community. Tonight, Linda and I are asking Aline Blade, April Harris, and the remaining board to cease and desist from the false and misleading information, the harassment, the defamation of character, and the abuse of office that has substantially and is continuously harming us and our various business interests. I thank you very much for this time in front of you. This is not going to go away. I don't know what Tom's going to decide. It's his decision to make. But we don't need continual harassment and defamation. And this village board should be above that. Thank you.
Does anyone have any questions for Linda?
Todd, yes.
How many people do you employ?
I don't even know.
I'm just curious.
I mean, we've got a few businesses.
Yes.
In fact, since you brought that up, Todd, I wasn't going to say anything. I went to business in Greenup, Illinois when I was 22 years old. I've built homes for over 25 years and tried to do any improvement and all improvements that I could. And I've been in several businesses. This is totally unacceptable and unfair to run a business out of town. And you two ladies are the main culprits in here.
Mike, you say you got a new building coming, you know when that's?
We'll have it up and probably hook up the utilities in 30 days. I actually held it off because I asked Linda to, let's get away for a week and just relax. So it was going to be delivered next week, and now it might be a couple more weeks. It will be complete. It's a very nice building with exposed rafters. Hip roof. It's going to have a Caribbean flair to it. I got a plastic Pelican bottom. I'm going to buy a palm tree. I'm going to decorate it so that it catches attention. It's going to be over there by the Dollar General store along 130. It'll have more exposure than the other facility. I think it'll do well. And yes, I have spent a lot of money on that project already. And it is coming. So whatever you decide, Tom, I'll have to deal with. But you have the discretion to do it as the liquor commissioner.
How big is this building?
It's 14 by 48. It's very quite spacious game room. It'll be very comfortable. Has a handicap bathroom in it. Got a kitchenette. It's vaulted ceiling. Got a covered porch. It'll be an asset to the community. And I think we'll pull a lot of business off of 130's traffic, which is driving through town. But how much money does a person have to do just to get a open business when some of these ordinances are changed just like that? I mean, and all I hear about is we're breaking ordinances. And Tom, you haven't broken an ordinance. You authorized an approval for us to relocate. There's nothing wrong with that.
You understand you gotta reapply, right?
I do understand that. We've got our license here that didn't get open, and I understand we have to reapply, and I understand whatever results comes will be that way. So I'm not being threatening, but we did not deserve this. And as of last board meeting, Aline wrote that letter that is completely a lie.
Oh, you got one?
That's all.
Linda, you got any more you wanna add?
I don't know how many people know, but we also pay hotel and motel tax with our Airbnbs too. We contribute to that. You know, when you spend for the carnivals and everything out of that, our Airbnbs contribute lots of money to that.
We get 5-star reviews from all over the country. We get repeat business from all over the country.
And we've helped several people with their Airbnbs.
We help the Candy Kitchen here in town, and we help some folks over in Casey. We're not against sharing. We're not against supporting.
Now, who's this lady right here?
She's,
She's a friend of ours.
You have a B and B too?
Yes, 3 of them in Casey.
Casey.
She's not from Casey, but she saw how it was growing.
But I started Airbnbs over there 3 years ago. The first one now after. And it does really well, and it brings a lot to the community, and why wouldn't you want it in your town?
Right.
I think something to consider though is the fact of just how much property taxes they pay. And the employee people. I mean, that is something we need. And, yeah, I think there's a jealousy issue. Mike's working fool. He doesn't stop. Whether you like him or not, that doesn't change. He's a go-getter. Some people just don't like that. But the fact is, he employs a lot of people, pays a lot of taxes. He's not out here, causing trouble. He's trying to do it right. Our community could use more minds. So, that's just my 2 cents on it. Not that it matters.
We helped a couple get started with car wash, and car washing too.
You're not gonna get it all out.
Okay, Mike, all I can tell you is reapply the application and see where it goes.
Thank you.
Okay, next on the agenda. Jumpin' Jimmy's. Requesting a class F wine, beer, premises, liquor license, and gambling license.
Yes, that's what I'm here for. You guys have me on with it.
Now, March of 2022, this board voted not to give you that.
Yes.
So, I just want to bring that out there.
For now,
Clarification, in March of 2022, didn't we vote to not increase the number of
Of liquor
licenses?
license, of liquor,
Not
yes,
to
that's
not
correct.
give it to him,
That's
but
correct.
to increase the number.
Right, that is correct.
Okay, then I can be kind of misspoke.
Yeah, that is correct. You're not correct.
Thank you.
And now what I see in little town like Marshall and Newton, every gas station has a gaming license inside the gas station. There is no problem with it. Then there is like a separate room has like not even a door there, like a scan ID door. But I don't know why this town has a problem to give me a license. There's some people against me. I don't know if they don't like me or what.
No, I don't think
whatsoever.
I don't think that's it.
That's the happening going on. That's why I'm not getting the license. Why have you to come getting it?
I think some of the board members don't like pour beer with gas.
I mean, why have you ever like the town?
I can't answer for them. I can't answer.
I mean,
So,
that doesn't make any sense to me. That's like a state law or something, or like that is only a town law or something.
no, it's not state law.
So you filled out an application, you filled out an application for,
I did this.
So at the time, there was not available. Correct.
No, there is
But
not.
now there is.
I'm trying to bring more revenue into town. If I'm trying to like increase myself in this town, trying to build myself here.
But now there is one available.
Yep, you guys just voted it in tonight.
But now it's kind of.
But I like to hear what the board said.
I have no problem.
You voted no the last time.
We
There was
voted
no license.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. We didn't vote no for you.
Right.
Just for the number. And if there's one available, all I'm saying is, there and. I mean, I don't have any
from where I've seen, like when I go into places like that, they have like a door, and there's a scanner there where you can't just walk in there.
No, you have to scan your ID and then you can. What I heard from last time, they said there's kids going around, but it's gonna be a separate room. They can get in without the ID scan or something. Nobody can get in without ID.
So you don't have to do a lot of remodeling.
Yes, I do. I already talked to J&J, they have no problem. They already qualified for everything. I have like enough room inside the gas station, I can do it. I can have a 4 machine in there plus the ATM machine inside.
I'll have to see your plans.
Well, I can show you anytime you want.
So. My question would be, how are you gonna prevent customer A from walking back out that door into the gas station?
It's gonna be all separate. If you come to the station, I'm gonna show you what's my plan is.
That's my concern is those of us that have 16, 17-year-old, 18-year-old grandkids are in here buying gasoline. Guys stand right next to it in the gas station. Drinking a beer.
But they are gonna stand by the door where the people getting, they be inside their room. I'm not gonna let everybody, open up a beer and stay by the door. No, it's not gonna happen.
They're saying they would not be able to exit the gaming room, open.
Yes. Maybe if they wanna drink, they have to be inside. If they open up, they wanna drink, they can either leave or they can stay inside their home.
Are you gonna have a limit of how much they can drink?
Yeah, just 1 or 2, like the little cans, the little ones, I think 28 ounces or maybe 20 ounces or something, the little one. As the lady said last time, I can pour only 1 to each customer or 2, that's it, that's the limit of it. As she talked to you, remember last time?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, well, I'll meet with you.
Okay,
We'll go from there.
thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, motion to approve an ordinance amending sections 20 and 65 of chapter 10.12 of the village code with respect to stop sign placement. Yeah, now we got this.
So we're gonna make that, so that, is that what this is, that would make it fully not for the stop sign the other way?
No, it's not.
Forward, but really it's not forward, it's called the hallway, because it's taken on York Street as well. The York Street
Oh,
is in there.
Okay. Gotcha.
I think, yeah, I'd say project line.
Something is left.
And what it's talking about, I mean, they taking that Broadway, they put it.
I will make. Authorizing the execution and thank you. Whoops. Alright, amending section 20 and 65 of chapter 10.12 of the village code with respect to stop sign placement. There we go. Get ahead of me.
I'll second that motion.
Alan?
Yes.
April?
Yes.
Josh?
Yes.
Max?
Yes.
Sherry?
Yes.
Tony?
Yes.
A motion to approve an ordinance of the village of Kennewick, Illinois, authorizing the execution and invitation of natural gas, all requirements, sales agreement with the Illinois Public Energy Association Agency.
I'll make that motion.
Okay.
Second, I need a second.
Okay.
Alan?
Yes.
April?
Yes.
Josh?
Yes.
Max?
Yeah.
Sherry?
Yes.
Tony?
Mr. Ryder.
You guys got quotes in your packet for a new skid steer for your utility department. There are 3 quotes there. The 325G is the one I would like to purchase. It has a little less horsepower, but it gets away from the depth system. Diesels, we're having issues with them. It also will have a pallet forks, take that through, so clean our streets up, and a 40-inch trench when we start doing our red line inspection.
And that broom, just don't throw it out on the side, it picks it up, right?
Once you put it in the bucket, you get a fully open broom up, dump in the truck.
This is a good question. Exactly.
I think we need something like that for a long time.
We need to clean our streets out. What's the total on that? 94.5. For Martin Cook.
That comes with the bucket.
Bucket, forks, pickup room, and trencher. Our fork rate we have right now are our New Holland tractor. And you can ask Lance, it's virtually impossible unload a skid off the semi.
Okay, somebody like to make a motion on that?
I'll make a motion that we purchase from Martin Equipment Company, 75% horsepower, model 325G, skid loader in the amount of $94,500.
I'll second it.
Alan?
Yes.
April?
Yes.
Josh?
Yes.
Max?
Yes.
Sherry? Tony?
Okay, Michael, next one is a 300 block of East Illinois Street sidewalks. We got a bid from Brent to replace them. Basically, from the old Charlie Brown house, going down to the ravine, where it starts new again, 8160.
And that definitely needs replacement.
Yeah, there's stuff in there, there, people painted them, but sections of them missing and everything.
Right. Somebody like to make a motion on that?
I'll second.
Can you read it? Yeah, I need to give you a motion.
I make the motion to approve replacement of sidewalk along Greenup Aug of East Illinois. In the amount of
$8,100.
$8,100.
Does that include concrete?
No, it does not.
Thank you.
No, it does not.
I'll second that.
I got it. Alan?
Yes.
April?
Yes.
Josh?
Yes.
Max?
Yes.
Sherry?
Yes.
Tony?
Present. That's the Brown house.
Oh, getting ready.
That's it.
Next thing I have, one of our new employees is, well, both of our new employees have shown a lot of interest in going to line school for our electric. Classes start September 15th with 2-week climbing school. They will go into the first year distribution of the rubber gloving and the underground. That's 5 weeks of the school. I think 5 weeks. It's a cost of $800 per person per week. When Hunter and I decided to do this, the board asked us to sign a agreement with the state of the village. I discussed it with him, and he's perfectly fine with doing that. I understand he is a new employee, but we have interest in this. We've had electrical outage within the last month, we've had to call our contractors 3 possible 4 times. So that
We can draw the fund, that we do the police department.
that $4,000 for 5 weeks is nothing compared to that.
We do it for the objectives.
Are you want to say both of them or just
Not
one?
right now, because Jason's gonna be waiting.
Oh, that's fine.
So, also just one said one, Austin has agreed to do it, and Jason said, when it comes available again, when it gets here, he's supposed to have a kid in September, you don't want to be gone for 5 weeks. No, it's different weeks, so here's one, maybe,
Is there any way Austin would agree to work for the village for 5 years?
I asked him if he would be interested in signing an agreement to stay here, he said yes.
Not only to take it off after we train him.
We always have to take that chance.
What do you think of the police officer?
No, it's not a contract.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, you sign a contract, I mean, I don't think you would have a problem with it, something we have to discuss with him, but I need the board's approval again, you signed that again.
It'd be a good,
I mean, he's a young guy, if we can get him trained on our electric, I think
Yeah.
2 of these young guys, and
both them guys are good, excellent, both of them. I said to Austin, and they're good.
Can we get the contract back after we get one of these?
Oh, I didn't take his word.
Well, I'm just saying,
I have one, all we gotta do is
one for 3 years, already here, that be.
you have to.
If you do 5 years,
I'll talk with him in the morning as long as the board's okay.
Please. $500 for, I mean, he can go ahead and get signed up and then you guys can make the motion, because I really don't have it on here.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Meeting signed up, or talk to him, meeting signed up.
Yeah. And I do with the top thing. Okay, next, I want to avoid this number 14, about that repair in front of the insurance company. Nico's gonna look at it and fix it. Why, let's let him do it. I'm gonna let John Stone handle that. The other guy said that Shannon didn't think that was Nico's problem, but I think they might be willing to just come fix it. Good faith. So, the attorney has anything? No report. No report. Village clerk,
No, I have none.
village treasurer,
No, I have none.
Michael.
Jefferson Street is done, the striping should be done tomorrow. And I'm gonna get ahold of John with Nico, he said he'd come back and do it. Temporary patch it or stripe off. So,
Right.
other than that, everything's going great. Our two employees are working out wonderful. We've got a couple incidents with trees and stuff. They've been able to jump in there and help us out. Very good job.
Two good choices. Chief of police.
Couple things, the police department's gonna do their annual school supply drive for the elementary and middle school. We'll be collecting school supplies. I know last year they really appreciated it. We collected several boxes that I delivered to them. So we'll be doing that at the end of this month. Also, our two guys in the academy graduate August 25th. So they will be out running around with me and Sergeant Gardner towards the end of the month and probably for the next month or so. They do.
All did a wonderful job today.
Yeah.
Semi good stuff.
Oh. He normally does all right.
Yeah, I don't know why that guy decides to hold it.
You haven't had it
Yeah, I don't have it. Yeah. Okay, Alleen.
I could say a lot, but I'm going to,
Is that all you got? April?
I would like to, thank the village greater for that they said that his dad passed away. And I would like to thank you for actually.
You're welcome. Max, Carl.
Not a whole lot other than I'm glad to see that you guys working out so well. I've seen that a few times. Summer help we had this year, every time I saw them. Good job.
Thank you, Max.
That's it.
Sure.
I have to agree with that.
Right.
Last week, we had 2 utility emergencies. Mike was out of town. City board set projects, I think, take care of. Not gonna do that.
Already done. All in favor of that, Lance is doing a wonderful job. Daniel Finler, he steps up too.
So are you, Michael.
Yes. We're all doing a good job.
Michael, you do a wonderful job.
I'm sorry.
Actually, Hunter's the one that's really stepped up.
Yes, Hunter has.
He's the one going up and cutting those, shut down the power and cut everything out.
Has he been doing a lot of electrical work?
So if anyone deserves some credit, it's Hunter.
Yeah, Hunter's been doing an excellent job. Yeah. Oh my God, a motion to adjourn.
I got Max and April. Ally?
Yes.
April?
Yes.
Josh?
Yes.
Max?
Yes.
Yes. Tony?
I just want to-